Hello everyone, welcome once again to Books Wale Bhaiya. Today I'll talk about an entirely different genre. It's not thrillers, it's not politics, it's not history, it's stock markets. Well, I'm not going to give any recommendation on what stock to buy, but I'll talk about certain books which I found to be profoundly useful for stock market investors. It is often said that nothing beats your own experience in stock markets, but there are indeed certain books written by some of the investing greats or which have views and ideas of the investing greats which make them very compelling read. So I'll start with the good old The Intelligent Investor, authored by Benjamin Graham, commonly known as the father of value investing. He was also the guru of Warren Buffett. It is said that this book is the Bible of stock market investing, and every serious stock market investor should read this book first before starting investing in market. So what this book talks about? This book talks about Benjamin Graham's understanding, his approach towards stock market investing, what his ideas were on markets, his views on investment versus speculation, his views on what role inflation or taxes plays in stock market returns, what parameters, what ratios to apply or an investor should apply before he starts thinking about investing in the markets. This book has ample examples of what Benjamin Graham used to think, what companies he saw, what companies he invested in. So all in all, it provides a good understanding of the point of view of Benjamin Graham. However, there is also criticism of the book is that this book, because it was originally written in 1949, this book has become outdated. I somewhat disagree with this notion because what Graham said even in 1949 is largely relevant to stock markets today as well, as it is often said that it is the old school wisdom which works best in stock markets. So while some of his viewpoints we may not completely agree with, for that matter he says that invest in a company only when the price to book ratio is less than 1.5 or if the current ratio is greater than 2. While we may not be able to find such companies anymore, such good companies anymore with such attractive ratios, the core idea of value investing is something which must be read by everyone if he or she is serious about investing. One very important concept introduced in this book is the margin of safety, and which, let's be honest, is practiced by every value investor even in today's world. So margin of safety is nothing but it's about buying a stock when it's available at a price much lower than what its intrinsic value is. This concept, in case you don't know, was introduced by Benjamin Graham in this book. Maybe outdated, but the core essence of the book of value investing is still very much relevant today, and for anyone who is starting his journey on stock markets, I strongly recommend this book. One suggestion about this book: if you are reading this book, in the first instance only read the original text of Benjamin Graham, because in these new editions there is also commentary about these books, but it's better to read that commentary separately and initially focus only on the core ideas of Benjamin Graham. The second book I'm going to talk about is by an Indian author or an Indian investor, Saurabh Mukherjee. The title is The Unusual Billionaires. Just like the title, the book itself is quite unusual. Saurabh Mukherjee is a well-known face in Indian stock markets. He runs his own investment firm in Mumbai known as Marcellus Capital Advisors. Now this book doesn't talk much about what investment strategies you should adopt. This book talks about some very, very successful companies in the Indian stock markets. He talks about 7 companies and how did he arrive at those 7 companies. So he went through the entire database of the 5,000 odd companies listed in Indian stock markets. He applied some key tests in terms of returns and revenue growth on these companies, and he came out with just a handful of companies. So this may surprise you that certain basic return and revenue growth ratios for over some 10 to 15 year of timeline, only a handful of the 5,000 companies were there who fulfilled this criteria. The idea which may appear to be very simple, that okay, we're just talking about some ratios and you are saying that only some companies made it to the list which delivered a consistent return in terms of revenue growth as well as return on capital employed. But that indeed is the best part of reading this book, that even such simple metrics very few companies are able to achieve. He then talks about those 7 companies in detail, in depth, and you get to know practically everything. How did those companies become this great? And as the title suggests, the unusual billionaires. what was their secret sauce, what did they do differently from the competitors that they have been able to deliver consistently over several, I would say, decades and not just 1 or 2 years. Such great insights, I believe, difficult to find anywhere else. So must read if we want to understand how good companies become good or how great companies become great. One criticism of this book by some people is that it only talks about history of the companies. Well, the idea is to understand the future, especially in stock markets or the companies you want to invest in. It is extremely critical to get a good grasp of the company's history, because only then can you predict the future. Another very important part of the book is where he talks about a checklist for stock market investors. Now, once again, you may or may not follow the checklist exactly, but to put things into perspective, to decide upon your investment journey, things like checklist are extremely useful. And he is someone who has, in a very structured manner, put forth everything. So not just the history of the companies, but when you're deciding on your own how to invest, the checklist is something which is extremely useful. He also talks about a portfolio known as CCP, a coffee can portfolio, which gives you insight about the companies his company invested in. So all in all, I would say a very, very compelling read. It's all Indian companies, so an extremely useful companion for an Indian stock market investor. Third book I'm going to talk about is by Howard Marks, and the title of the book is The Most Important Thing. Howard Marks is a very well-known investor. He runs his own investment firm called Oaktree Capital Management, and as the title says, the most important thing. So well, what he talks about are some of the most important things in stock market derived from his decades of experience in the markets. He used to write, and he still writes, investing memos, and this book is actually a compilation of those memos. But the best part of this book is he brings to the table some very important critical ideas, which is just a result of his investing experience. So some of the ideas which I liked a lot, he talks about next level thinking. So he claims that anyone who reads financial newspapers, who reads about companies, can invest and get some good returns. This is the first level thinking. You know what everyone knows, you identify some good companies, you make some money. But he says to become successful, you don't need the first level thinking, you need the second level thinking. Can you look beyond the obvious? Can you say no to a company even after seeing that it's doing very well financially? Can you say yes to a company which does not appear to be a very attractive investment? Do you invest just because of a good historical track record? Or do you invest only because you find the business proposition good? Is it necessary that a good business will translate into good investment returns? If you can think beyond the obvious, beyond what is written in the annual report, in financial newspapers or magazines, that is the second level thinking. And he says to get good investment returns, to consistently beat the benchmark, you need that second level thinking, and how much you develop that over time actually determines your investing success. Appears to be simple, but a very, very powerful idea. He talks about one very important thing of business cycles, and this is where you see his approach differs from some other stock market investor, the successful stock market investor. He emphasizes the business cycles a lot. He says there are business cycles, you need to understand them. You also need to understand what is the role of a company in a particular business cycle. Just like market cycles, a company also goes through various cycles. You need to understand it, and you need to place your investments accordingly. So while Warren Buffett or Benjamin Graham may say sticking to companies for a very long term, he also says the same, but at the same time he places emphasis on business cycles. He then talks about another very important concept, which is intrinsic value. And he says if you are investing in a company, the first thing you must do is to do the calculations and arrive at an intrinsic value for the company. And he says that should be the first step in your investment. Just thinking that a company is good, so I should invest and make money, is not the correct approach. You must have an intrinsic value derived on the basis of your calculations to make sure your investment is successful. There are similar such nuggets of wisdom in this book, which clearly shows how experienced Howard Marks as an investor is, and these nuggets make this a very, very compelling read. The next book I'm going to talk about, well, I don't have that book, I don't have the hardcover of it, so I will show you on my mobile. I have a Kindle edition for that. It is this book, which surprisingly I have noticed many people don't know. It's called Buffett Beyond Value by Prem Jain. Now, this appears a bit counterintuitive. I'm talking of a book called Buffett Beyond Value by Prem Jain. We talked of Warren Buffett, we talked of stock markets, and we talked about value investing. So, what is Buffett Beyond Value? Well, Prem Jain is a finance professor at Georgetown University. He has done extensive research on Warren Buffett's investment philosophy, and he says that Warren Buffett is not only a value investor, but he places equal importance to growth as well as the management competence. So he brings home the point that not just Warren Buffett, but in general, an investing approach should encompass all these characteristics and not just value. Through this book, he has explained that how Warren Buffett's various investments were not just pure value investments, but a lot of thinking was also placed, a lot of research was also done on the growth prospects of the company as well as the management competence. He gives several examples of Warren Buffett's investments wherein Buffett invested and they were not just pure value plays, but he looked at the management and the growth prospects very carefully. And he said that this is the approach everyone should adopt and not just Warren Buffett. So this book, as I said, is a bit counterintuitive. We are talking about Warren Buffett, but I think he brings home a very important aspect. And not just his investments, he also talks extensively about Berkshire Hathaway's insurance business, which is actually the mainstay of Berkshire Hathaway. He talks about what ratios or what numbers does Warren Buffett looks at before he decides about investing in a company. So in that way, if we want to know more about Warren Buffett, arguably the most successful investor ever born till now, we want to know more about him, this book provides some very, very interesting ideas, which will help you not just in understanding Buffett, but in understanding the investing world in general. Now talking about the last book, well, before I talk about that book, think for a minute, what if I give you an opportunity to talk to some successful investor or actually some very successful investors, Indian investors, I give an opportunity to talk to them one-to-one for a number of hours or days. Want to be happy, want to just jump at the idea that there's an opportunity to talk to the investors face to face for long number of hours or rather days. Well, I don't know if that will be true in real life, but I have a book which gives you that opportunity. Masterclass with Super Investors by Vishal Mittal and Saurabh Basra. They are two stock market investors who are running their own investment firm in New Delhi, and they have interviewed 11 well-known stock market investors, and these interviews provide great insights into the investment philosophy of these investors. If you think you want to know how do they decide upon whether to invest in a company or not, what ratios they consider, whether they invest in just in stocks or they invest in mutual funds or other investments also, for example, commodities, do they trade, do they use leverage, what made them think of getting into investing as a career, did they also lose money or are there only success stories by them? You may have several questions in mind that how do these so-called investing greats decide about investing in markets, but I believe this book answers precisely all those questions. It's written in such an interesting manner that you will think you are talking to these successful investors on a one-to-one basis. Their investments in listed companies, in unlisted companies, why did they invest, what were the market conditions that time, what importance they give to, for example, macroeconomic factors and what not. I believe every imaginable question you may think of asking to an investor is answered in this book. They are all Indian investors. I think no other book which I have read in stock markets can provide this useful perspective, because after all, it is all about talking to investors on a one-on-one basis. Thank you. I believe this was useful. If you liked my video, please click like. If you want to know more about books, the books I review, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.